We put the report together because increasingly trademarks and brands generally are driving real profits, real value for companies. I think we all know the major firms today, technology companies, pharmaceutical companies. Those brands are enormously important to their success. They're also driven by technology, which is something very different than brands. Understanding the interplay between brand and technology is really important, but also understanding the interplay between actual marks and how IP professionals make decisions and tax professionals is really the focus of this report. So how are those decisions made? Where are they made? How do they talk to each other? And what does an IP professional need to know in order to participate in that conversation? What we first learn is how much and how important tax regulators think about brand. And we make sure that the report makes sure to educate brand professionals to know that there is enormous value if you get the tax right and efficiencies and cost savings, but there's also some pretty heavy-duty risks. The second thing is that there's a real difference between how we think about ownership of brands from a trademark perspective and ownership of brands from a tax perspective. They're not the same thing. You need to be able to understand both of those things in order to truly have an efficient deal that also protects IP. And that could be in creation of brands, that could be in maintenance of brands, it could be in M&A activity. I guess the third piece is just that there's new regulation coming out all the time, and this report gives trademark professionals the ability to understand what that regulation is and how it might impact their transactions. The report aligns very closely with professional development of trademark professionals and also with value of brands and showing value within the company. The number one thing that trademark professionals do or ought to be doing is helping companies drive value, real impact in dollars, measurable by their actions. Sure, some actions are going to be defensive to protect what they have, but there are many opportunities to be offensive, to create real profits. Tax is an enormous opportunity. We're talking about literally billions, even hundreds of billions sometimes at stake by the decisions that trademark professionals help drive. If they have a seat at that table, if they're driving that kind of value in their organization, then they can turn from a cost center into a profit center, which is absolutely essential to our mission. I think thinking of this as a European report is a bit of a misnomer. It's a report about doing business in Europe, and that's something that all global brands should care about. I think if the legacy of the report, of the committee work that we're doing around tax and brands is really to change the conversation. Right now, for good or ill, tax professionals are making all the decisions around brand. And I know, and we all know, that brand professionals have a lot to say about it, and that working together with tax professionals, we can achieve tax outcomes and we can also achieve brand outcomes at the same time, creating enormous value.